PU1 and PU2 students, I hope that all of you are working really hard, preparing well for your upcoming exams. Now we complete the entire syllabus, we do revision, we write mock tests before the exams. But what if we are not able to present the answers properly in the examination? Then all our efforts will go into vain, right? So to help you with this, so that you don't fall into this category, I have come up in this video where I'll be discussing some important instructions that you must follow while writing the answers in the examination hall. I will also be telling you some tips and tricks to make your answer more presentable. I'll also give you some examples how a perfect answer looks like, and I will also tell you at the end some mistakes that you should be avoiding while writing the exam. Okay, so let's get started. Very important video. Please watch till the end so that you don't make any mistake while writing your answers in the examination hall. Okay, so the first thing, as I told you, what I'll be discussing quickly. So first of all, we'll be talking about some general instructions that you should follow. Then I'll be telling you some bonus tips to make your answer more presentable. Then how you should write a good answer, what should be the steps that you should be following. Next, some examples of good answer writing, and then I'll also be telling you the mistakes that you should avoid. Okay, so coming to the first one, that is the general instruction. Both PU1 and PU2 students, you have MCQ questions which has 15 questions in that, right? So here you must follow some instructions, that is the part A, okay, the MCQ questions. First attempted answer will be considered for awarding marks. Okay, like for example, suppose a question number 1 has 4 options, okay? So in your answer sheet, what you take, this is your answer sheet, you wrote 1, okay, and then you wrote A, you cancelled it and you wrote B, okay. Suppose the correct answer was A only, okay, sorry, the correct answer is B. Suppose in case the correct answer is B, okay, but since it is your second attempted answer, this will not be evaluated. Okay, so you should be very careful here. If you are not thorough, if you are not very sure about the MCQ question, please leave it. At the end, decide 100%. If you are sure, then only write the answer. Or at the end, once you are confirmed, okay, this can be the answer, or you are satisfied that this is the answer, then only go for it. Okay, and once you have gone it, you should not change it. Even if you change, it has no importance. Okay, next, coming to, if you are not sure, you can leave the question at the moment and do it at the end. Okay, next, write options with the complete option. So you should not mention just B. So for example, the answer of B is CO2. Okay, so you should write B and then CO2. Complete answers should be written. Okay, this is something that you should follow for part A. Like example is given here, identify the incorrect statement, right? So we know that, suppose I found that answer number C, option C is the correct answer. So you have to write C and write the whole statement that makes the complete answer. Okay, so you have to choose the correct option and write the full sentence while answering. Whatever is there in the front of that option, you have to write it exactly in that way. Okay, next, second thing in general instructions we have is for your numerical and diagram based questions. Okay, so in physics, chemistry, maths, you have so many numerical questions. So you have to follow just these 4 methods. First, write down the formula, then do the substitution, then you have to do the calculation, and in the calculation, in the final answer, units must be mentioned. Without units, if you write, marks will be deducted. Okay, so direct, if you just do calculation in the rough and finally you put, okay, question number 41, answer is 800 kilojoules per mole. No calculation, nothing you have done, just written this answer is correct also, then also you will be awarded 0 marks. Okay, no direct answer, please write down the steps. Okay, so this formula carries 1 mark, calculation carries 1 mark, substitution carries 1 mark in a 3 marker numericals. Okay, next, if you are drawing any diagram, for example in biology, in chemistry, in physics also, you might have some diagrams. So these are the points that you need to take care. First, neat and well leveled diagram. Your diagram should be neat, okay, not too many erasing and all should not be there. Do it in a first with the light, so you must be doing with pencil, right? So do not use dark pencil, do lightly. Once your diagram is done, then you can darken it. Okay, I have seen many students like doing dark diagrams and they do wrong and then they erase it, the mark of that pencil remains. Okay, it really looks dirty. So make sure that you draw the diagram in light shade. Okay, Once the diagram is done, then you can darken it. No need to darken too much, moderate darkening is fine. Okay. Next, artistic diagrams are not required. I have seen so many students doing shading and all in the diagrams. That is not required at all. Okay, even if you do that, you don't get any extra mark, you just waste your time. Okay, so make sure that you do a well leveled schematic diagram which conveys what is required. You don't have to do any shading there, or don't waste your time putting different colors and all is complete waste. Okay. Next, leveling in pencil. So it is better if you level the diagrams in pencil, so that if you do any mistake, you can erase and you can correct it. Okay. Next, title of the diagram to be mentioned. Okay, suppose you are doing the diagram of human reproductive system, female reproductive system, so it should be mentioned. Suppose you are doing the diagram of hydrogen oxygen fuel cell, it should be mentioned. Suppose you are doing the diagram of some lens, it should be lens, like it should be mentioned, convex lens, suppose some position of the diagram, image formation you are doing, so those titles should be mentioned. Now from where will you get the title? In the question it will be there, just copy from there and write down neatly at the end or at the top of the image. Okay. Next, if you are doing graph, for example, any first order reaction, second order reaction, any graph is asked, most of the time we forget to level the axis. Okay, so what is there in x axis, what is there in y axis, this should be there. Okay, you have so many diagrams in chemical kinetics chapter, right? Boltzmann distribution curve, then you have catalyst diagram, so in that x and y axis should be done properly. Okay, sorry, I have marked it wrongly, sorry. This is y axis and this is x axis. Okay, so this two axes should be named properly. Okay, then you should mention the arrow marks. Clear? This is there. These are the things you should take care while answering 1 marker questions or MCQ questions, while answering numerical questions, while answering diagram based questions. Okay, after that what we have? Here you can see one example I have taken for a diagram based question. So this is a diagram of female reproductive system. So the basic diagram is done, levelings have been done. Okay, no shading, nothing, you don't have to design it, very simple diagram, neat and clean, should be done for your exams. Okay, now some more instructions we have to give you. Okay, so these are especially for board examinations, you have to use only ballpoint pen. Please do not use any ink pen and all, that will create a lot of chaos. You have to ask ink if it is finished, these all things do not want in the exam. Simple blue or black ballpoint pen is fine. Okay, next, if this is especially for the PU2 board examination students, if you are doing any change of pen, please inform the invigilator. Okay, he or she should sign and give you the permission, then only you can change the pen. Okay, next we have fill in all the details in the answer booklet legibly, your name, roll number, subject code, any other details to be filled, fill it first. Okay, I find many students also doing this, they forget to fill their name and start answering, and after submitting they ask the answer sheet back that I haven't filled this, and this is very irresponsible, I can say. You should be, first thing you have to do is to fill your all the details in your answer booklet. Okay, fine. Next we have here is question numbers. This is something I should not be telling, very basic thing. Please mention the question number. If you are not mentioning the question number, you might have written the correct answer, no mark will be given. Okay, after that you have sections, right? You know, in every question there are section A, B and C. So when you have started section B, please write all the answers of section B, then go to section C. Okay, this is very important. You cannot write a question's answer of section B in section C. Okay, that will be again not evaluated. Okay, now suppose for example section B. For example, section B has 5 questions and you have to answer any 3. Okay, and you know that only 2 answers you have written. Okay, so you have done 2 answers, now you leave space for the third answer, leave space. Okay, do not write it again, or even if you are writing it again, mention the section again and then write down the answer. Okay, so please make sure you either leave space or write it at the end, but whenever you write it at the end, mention the section again. Next we have, do not write incomplete answers and then the remaining part on the last page. Like for example, you have a 5 marker question. Okay, suppose we have section D, where we have suppose 5 marker question, there is question A, B, C, D. You have written A and B. C, D you are writing at the end of the paper. That will also not be evaluated. Please do not do this. Again, if you do not the answer, put C, D, leave the space, you can write it later. Okay. Next, if you, as you know, there will be many extra questions. For attempting the extra questions, you can attempt it at the end and the best of the answers will be chosen. Okay. Next, so this is actually done so that you save your time. You don't write the extra questions at the beginning and waste too much of your time, and at the end you are not able to finish the paper. So first write down the confirmed answers which you know, and after that if you have time you can go to attempt the extra questions. Okay. Okay, now we will tell you how to make your answers more presentable. Okay, so the first thing is you have to leave 1 or 2 lines after every answer. Okay, leave some space. Even if your handwriting is not good, if you give some space, it becomes more legible. So make sure that you leave space between the answers. Next, make a habit to draw lines after every answer. This is again separates the answer, makes it more legible. It becomes clear that okay, this whole paragraph is for this particular question. So just put lines in that. Next, highlight the key points in your answer with the pen. Okay, so whichever are the important topics, please highlight that. Highlight means underline it. Okay. After that, we have answers for a numericals question should be closed in a box. Okay, this makes again more attractive. You can just write down the answer with the units and make a box in it. That shows directly the eyes of the examiner will go to the calculation part. If it is correct, that will give you good marks. Next, mention your answers in bullet form. Whenever you have any paragraph based questions, try to write in the point format. That is obviously very easy for the examiner. They will just check the points, the keywords, and they will give you mark. Even if you have not written the complete thing, you are eligible for getting good marks. But if you write in the form of paragraph, the examiner has to read each and every word, and it creates so much tension or so much tedious work for the examiner. So please avoid it. Try to write it in the form of bullets. Okay. Next, we have some steps that you should follow to write a correct answer. Okay, the first step very obviously is to read the question twice. Understand the mark distribution of the question. Suppose it is a 3 plus 2, 2 plus 2, or it is direct a 5 marker question. What exactly it is given? So you have to understand the mark distribution. After that, write the question number. After that, write the if the question has parts, then you have to follow the order. A, B, C, D is there, then follow it in that order. Include examples if applicable. For example, question is ideal solution. Define ideal solution. So define it, also add an example to it. So adding an example to a question always gives you extra marks, or not extra marks, but yes, always reduces your chance of getting deduction in that question. Okay, so please include examples wherever possible. After that, after writing, recheck the answer once, read the answer once. Once you read it second time, highlight the important points, and if you are satisfied, then go to the next question. If not, if you think that something missing, something I can add, leave some space and then go to the next question. Okay, this is a basic 7 steps that you can follow to write the best answer. Now I'll give you some examples for 2 markers. Suppose this first question is there. Explain the Schwartz reaction with an example. So how will you write? This is a 2 marker question, right? So you have to write the definition and then you have to write the example. So this is what I will write for the question. Here I have written the definition. This will give me 1 mark. This example will give me 1 mark. Now when I have written the example, you can see I have named it also. Okay, what exactly is this one? What is exactly the product? Okay, so this will help you to get a better understanding. Next, if I go to 3 marker question, study of actinoids is more difficult. Give any 3 reasons. So paragraph based question, 3 reasons how to give in the form of points. Okay, you have to write in the form of points. Now here you see, whenever you get a question wrong or some word you have written wrong, do not just cut it like this. Okay, that makes your answer sheet dirty. Okay, and even the ink may spread. So just put a one line, one straight line is more than enough to so that this part is not required. Okay, next, if you go for 5 marker question, part A and part B is there, right? So first you have to write A, then you have to write B. So write the reaction involved in the mechanism of acid catalyzed dehydration of alcohol. Explain the preparation of anisole by Williamson ether synthesis. So you have to understand this is a 3 plus 2 is given, right? 3 marks, 2 marks. So here definitely 3 points should be there. Here or here definitely it should be written in 2 points. So how will I write? So the mechanism, step 1, step 2, step 3. 3 steps, 3 marks. See, suppose here you have done any mistake. You don't have to cut it in a very like in a very dirty way. Just put a straight line and then do it. That is fine. Then when anisole question is there, explanation 1 mark and then example 1 mark. So even though I have so many cuttings here, you can see here is a cutting, here is a cutting, but still it looks neat because I have just put 1 line for cutting the answers, okay? And I have given enough space between the answers, between section A, section B, between step 1, step 2, step 3, so that it is clearly clearly you can understand what exactly is the answer happening here, okay? Next we have, suppose, numerical based questions, any numerical based question. So the first thing you can write down the given data, but for given data there is no mark. The first thing you have to write is the formula, which carries 1 mark, then the correct substitution of the values, which carries 1 mark. Third is the answer with the units, this will give you 1 mark, okay? So this way you should go or approach the numerical questions. Clear? Okay, now coming to the mistakes that you should be avoiding. Bad handwriting, okay? Now handwriting is something which you cannot change at this point of time, but make sure that your handwriting is at least legible, okay? It is visible what you have written, okay? And for that you can, the best way you can do is to leave spaces between the words, between the letters, between the sentences and between the paragraphs, okay? After that, skipping writing section. So many students just go on flow and keep writing the answers. Make sure that you mention the section B, section C, section D, E, and then start writing the answers. Forgetting or write wrong question number, this is something your blunder, okay? A small mistake can lead to loss of big marks, so make sure that you don't do it. Whenever you do write down the question number, please check it again twice, thrice, and then go for writing the answers. Next, jumbling different parts of the same question. The order is A, B, C. Please write down it in A, B, C order. Do not write that question part in this part, this question part in that question part. Don't jumble it. Next, missing units. This is something which most of the students do. They miss the units in numerical answers and that leads to deduction of marks. So please make sure that whenever you do numerical question, you will mention the units, okay? So yes students, this was all about your paper presentation. I hope that all of you will follow these instructions, avoid these mistakes and follow the steps that I have suggested you to write a more presentable and a better answer, okay? That's all students, and if you have any doubt you can put in the comment section, and see you soon in the next episode.